For some reason, whenever I tell a story about when I used to get whooped, that video gets 2 million plus views. I don't know why y'all are like this, but I'm about to tell y'all the most pointless ass whooping I ever got, but just peep game and lock in real quick. This happened when I was in 6th grade, and for some reason, me and my brothers were using a lot of toilet paper. I don't know if those niggas had Bang Bros subscriptions during the time, or if they were on straight laxatives, but we were going through a pack of toilet paper in like 3 days. And one day my dad's like, y'all gotta stop using this much toilet paper or I'm gonna stop buying it. And we're like, that's a strange punishment. We're your sons. You want us to be some crusty booty ass niggas? But for a good while, we stopped using a lot of toilet paper. But one day my dad got home from work and he's like, boys. We immediately ran upstairs. He's like, who used all this toilet paper? As soon as I walked in there, I'm like, what the fuck happened in here? It looked like Helen Keller was in the toilet playing around. Hella toilet paper in that bitch. So I looked at my little brother. He said he didn't do it. I looked at my older brother. He said he didn't do it. And I know for a fact I didn't do that shit. So one of them niggas was lying. But for some reason, I was feeling like Tony Stark that day. And I was like, Dad, I'm the one who used the toilet paper. He sent my brothers to their room and whooped the shit out of me. He was whooping me so bad I was hearing Rick Ross grunts between slaps. And the craziest part is I didn't even do it. Have y'all ever heard somebody say something so fucking dumb that you start to think maybe everything's not okay up here? Perhaps the brain isn't as developed as it's supposed to be? Because yesterday my homie told me he got pulled over by the police and almost got shot. And I'm like, damn nigga, what happened? He said he got pulled over and the police asked for his license and registration, went back to the car and were taking a while. And he said he wanted to see what the holdup was, so he got outside the car. He said as soon as he did that, they started screaming, put your hands up. And I'm like, nigga, what? You are dark skinned, 6'4", and 270 completely dry. What the fuck were you doing outside the car? You know them boys really kill niggas, right? My homie talking about, nah, they just racist. I'm like, yeah, nigga, probably. So what the fuck were you doing out the car? And the craziest part is that's probably not the dumbest shit he did yesterday. Me and him watched the entire first season of Invincible yesterday, and he gonna say this shit sucks, how come he never uses his power? I'm like, bro, what? He flies through buildings and beats niggas half to death, how does he not use his power? He gonna say, how come he never go invincible to the naked eye? I'm like, nigga, you mean invisible? He talking about, oh shit, I'm dumb as hell. And I almost said no shit, my nigga, because there's no way he saw this title screen and thought the nigga was finna disappear. Code switching is when you take the way you talk or communicate and change it up. And historically, black people gotta be better code switchers because anything that has been deemed as black has been deemed as unprofessional. Like if I'm around my homies and they say something I agree with, I'd be like, oh yeah, type shit. But if I'm at work, I can't say that. I gotta be like, oh yeah, Lindsay, I agree. I have to keep the melanated behavior to a bare minimum. But I'm gonna give you guys a great example of code switching, but just peep game and lock in. Every 6 months at my job, I have to have a meeting with my boss. Yesterday, I had the meeting with my boss. The first thing she gonna say is, are you ready to peep game and lock in? Mind you, my boss is this little white lady. So I'm like, what? You know about my TikTok? She gonna say, yeah, you're so funny. I've never heard you say the N-word before. I'm like, N-word? That's what you took away from my videos? But I'm at least glad you found them funny. She gonna say, yeah, why aren't you this funny at work? And when she said that, I almost reached in my back pocket and grabbed my firearm. Because 2 years ago at the same job, I'm talking to one of my black coworkers about the NBA. I said, that nigga Steph Curry is not clutch. My boss gonna come around and say, can you guys not use slang around the customers? I'm like, sure, yeah, but what slang did I use? She said, yeah, you know, the word clutch could mean, you know, clutching a gun. And I'm like, what? Why would I be talking about clutching a gun on the sales floor? So as soon as she said that, I stopped being my black ass at work. From the hours 9 to 5, I became the white man. One thing that I really hate about the internet is when something gets exposed, niggas swear they always knew what was happening. Like right now, there's that Nickelodeon documentary that's exposing Dan Schneider and all the weird shit that was going on, where he was literally grooming and taking the innocence from little kids. And there's parents that swear they knew what was going on, but they're just fucking bullshitting. But just peep game and lock in real quick. Yesterday was my dad's birthday, so I'm at the crib with the family just celebrating. And my uncle was there, my dad's blood brother. He gonna say, I know you guys see what's going on with Nickelodeon right now in that documentary. That's why I didn't let you guys watch iCarly growing up. And I'm like, no, Unc, that's not why. You didn't let us watch iCarly because you watched Sam beat a nigga with a peanut butter sock. You thought that shit was gonna turn us to violent psychopaths. You didn't know about the abuse and grooming of those little kids. So I told him that, and he gonna say we were just too young to understand. And I'm like, no, Unc, that's not true. You even banned us from watching SpongeBob because you thought that happy nigga was gonna turn us to raging P. Diddy's. Look at my profile pic right now. It's from SpongeBob. And guess what? He didn't turn me gay. I still love Kitty Cat. From a particular woman. But I really just don't understand why people want to swear they knew what was going on instead of just supporting the victims. Because yeah, there was a lot of signs going on, but who gives a fuck if you knew what was happening? Nobody did shit and those kids suffered. When it comes to you can't take niggas nowhere stories, I think I got the best ones. Just peep game and lock in real quick. 2 years ago, I was just chilling and my homie called me and asked if I wanted to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I told him, nah, not really. But then he told me the school was paying for black students to go watch the football game. So I said, if they're paying for everything, I'm gonna be there no matter what. 2 weeks later, we're in the middle of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And one day before the football game, the people running the field trip, they brought us to where the race massacre happened. Tulsa, Oklahoma was the Black Wall Street. That was until racists came, destroyed it, and killed over 300 black residents. So we went through this long tour, and at the end of the day, we're all like, damn, that shit is so crazy. Like, these people really got killed for the color of their skin. And later that night, we're all in the hotel, and me and my homie get a text from the group chat, and some nigga said, fuck the KKK. So we all text back, we're all like, yeah, for real, fuck them niggas. We all hope the KKK die. All this crazy shit. And then this random ass nigga who wasn't talking to nobody the entire field trip, he said we can't judge them the same way they judge us. And everybody's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Is he standing up for the Ku Klux Klan? Is this nigga co-signing the KKK? So some nigga said, man, you're a fucking raccoon. Obviously he didn't say raccoon. But after he said that, the nigga who was defending the KKK said, you won't see me. Mind you, we're all on a school field trip. 5 minutes later, me and my homie got an email, and the people running the field trip said we had to meet in the lobby in 5 minutes. They damn near cussed us out.
When I tell y'all corn addiction has gotten so bad, my homie has to talk to a therapist now. That nigga is talking to a doctor to stop squeezing his favorite leg. And I'm finna tell y'all how that nigga got there, but just peep game and lock in real quick. For 4 years of college, my homie went to school to get a degree in gender studies. No offense to any of you niggas who are gender studies majors, but they make no fucking money. He had 3 interviews last week. The job offering him the most money was giving him $15.50 an hour. That nigga went through 4 years of college to make less than a Walmart cashier. So he called me panicking, talking about, bro, I'm never gonna be able to pay my student loans. I'm gonna always be poor. And I told him, bro, chill out. Everything's gonna work out in due time. That nigga didn't listen to me. And like I told you, this nigga is a corn addict. One time he asked me, what got better videos, Twitter or Reddit? I told that nigga, you need to read a book. And last week he was so down bad, he was watching some freaky ass shit, and he got the great idea to become a P-star. He decided he wanted to join the industry. So he went on Google and looked up P-star jobs. He clicked on the first link and started filling out a job application. It asked him for his first and last name, his date of birth, his social security number, his Instagram, his email, all this crazy shit, and that nigga gave it to them. But he said the very last page asked him for a headshot, a picture of his chest up, and a full body picture of that nigga wearing no clothes. That dumbass nigga uploaded the pictures and submitted the job application. The very next day, he got a text from a random ass number with a screen recording of everybody who follows him on Instagram. And they sent the pictures of that nigga wearing no clothes, and they said they were gonna send it to everybody who follows him unless he sent them $1,000 that day. Immediately, that nigga deleted his Instagram, but I told him, bro, that's not enough. You need to talk to somebody. Now that nigga's in therapy. Am I a bad friend if I cut off my homie just for cheating on his girlfriend? Because obviously cheating is wrong, but if he could cheat on the girl who loves and has always been there for him, what is he gonna do to me? That nigga might just backdoor my shit, but just peep game and lock in real quick. My homie has been dating the same girl for 2 years, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to fuck his girl, but she's one of the best women I've ever met. She always brings a good vibe. And 2 days ago, I'm hanging with my homie, and he talking about, bro, I think we broke up. And I'm like, nigga, what do you mean you think you broke up? Y'all have been dating for years. This nigga told me she hasn't texted me back in weeks. I'm like, bro, are we sure she's even still alive? This nigga said, yeah, I went to her apartment the other day, and her roommates cussed me out and told me to leave her alone. I'm like, nigga, what? This story's not adding up. But I didn't question it. It's none of my fucking business. But like I told y'all, she's cool people. I follow her on Instagram. I'm watching her story and she's going off. She's talking about never give your heart to a man. She's talking about how all men do is cheat. And I'm like, nigga, cheat? That's not what bro told me. So I called this nigga. I'm like, bro, merch, you fucking cheated. This nigga started laughing. He talking about, huh, how you know? That shit almost sent chills down my spine. Who laughs at some shit like that? If he finds that funny, he might pull some King Von shit to me. I feel like I gotta cut the nigga off. Have y'all noticed how freaky society is now? Like, I damn near feel like a nun around you niggas. Y'all are too fucking freaky, but just peep game and lock in real quick. Last Saturday, I went in the group chat and all my homies were talking about let's go get Chipotle, but none of these niggas drive. So I'm like, y'all, don't even worry about it. I got y'all. So I scooped the first 3 niggas. As soon as I get to their crib, they're ready to go. But when we get to the 4th nigga crib, he's taking forever. It got so bad that we all went in the group chat and we told his ass to hurry the fuck up. This nigga texted back, sorry y'all, I'm on the phone with my dad. I'll be right outside. Less than 10 seconds later, this nigga's outside. And we're all like, what the fuck? Did this nigga hang up on his dad? How did he get outside so quick? But he get in the car, we all dap his ass up, and we go to Chipotle. So now we're in the line getting ready to order. One of my homies goes, y'all, Trump just got shot. I'm like, nigga, don't even fucking play with me like that. This nigga says, no, it's all over Twitter. Go look. So I open up Twitter. It's the #1 thing on trending. But my other homie, the nigga that took forever to come outside, all we hear is fucking clapping and moaning. Everybody in Chipotle was looking at us like we were on the Epstein flight logs. And what pissed me off the most was not even that he played that shit in Chipotle. I just remembered this nigga came outside right when we told him to hurry up. And we dapped this nigga up. There's no way he washed his hands. Freaky ass nigga. Have y'all ever met a dude who truly hates his girlfriend? That shit isn't funny, but it's so fucking funny. Just peep Game and Lock in real quick. On July 4th, me and all my homies went to the park to go grill. We went fucking stupid. We had burgers, brats, corn, chicken wings. One of my homies made barbecue ribs. I've never seen this nigga cook in his entire life. And one of my homies, his girlfriend came to visit. These niggas are in a long distance relationship. She lives in Arizona, we live in fucking Chicago. That is a 4-hour plane ride. I have never seen that nigga so mad. But all my other homies, we're having a good ass time. Some of them niggas are drinking beers. Some of them niggas are rolling up. But this nigga, he's just in a badass mood. We started grilling at 2 p.m. At around 7 o'clock, we started packing our shit up. And I realized this nigga hadn't said shit to me. So me being the good friend I am, I went up to him. I'm like, bro, are you good? This nigga said, no, this bitch about to piss me off. So I just started laughing. I'm like, damn, what your girl do? This nigga said, why the fuck would this bitch visit me on her period? When he said that, I'm like, damn. Do you know how crazy of a nigga you have to be to get mad that your girl had her period? I remember times I used to pray my girl got hers. That nigga must really hate that girl. One thing that every black American remembers is the first time they heard a white person say the N-word. It is something you can't escape. And the first time I heard a white person say the N-word, my mom grounded me for a week. But just peep Game and Lock in real quick. This happened when I was in 4th grade, and after a long ass day of school, I got on the school bus and went straight to the back of the bus like it was the 60s. And when I got to the same seat that I sat every single day, I saw my white homie sitting there. Mind you, I've had sleepovers with this nigga. His mom has cooked me dinner before. We were supposed to be gang. So I asked him, Blake, why are you sitting in my seat? This nigga was being rude as hell. He said, it's not your fucking seat. So I asked him, bro, why are you being such a bitch? And I started walking to the front of the bus. So while I was walking to the front with my back turned towards this nigga, all I hear is shut up, nigga. What? Do my ears fucking deceive me? But I knew I wasn't tripping because everybody's face was in awe. They were looking at me like I was supposed to do something. So I did. I went straight to the back of the bus and pushed that nigga's head into a window. That nigga started crying like a little bitch. And I almost felt bad because he was supposed to be gang. But then I remembered he called me nigga with a switch. He called me the hard R. So after I got off the school bus, I went right home. The first thing my mom said is, how was school today? I started lying. I'm like, oh, school was good. Nothing crazy though. So then she asked me, did anything happen at school today? So I said, no, it was just a regular day. She said, well, Blake's mom called me. He said you beat him up. I said, Mom, I swear to God I didn't beat him up. He called me the N-word, so I pushed him. She didn't fucking believe me. She grounded me for the entire week. Growing up, did your parents ever hate one of your friends and you never understood why until you got older? That'd be one of the worst feelings, but just peep Game and Lock in real quick. When I was in 7th grade, I met these ghetto ass niggas at the park. I didn't go to school with them. I didn't know of them. I just met these niggas at the park. And one day my dad drove one of them home, and this nigga got out the car and said, appreciate it, nigga. Where was he fucking raised? A Boondocks episode? Who talks to somebody's dad like that? So that night, my mom and my dad, they sat me down, and they said, we never want to see you with those kids again. So 2 days later, I'm at the park with my homies again, and one of these niggas said, y'all trying to go to Applebee's? I told them, I don't got no money on me right now. They said, don't even worry about it, Brian. We got you. So we all slide to Applebee's. These niggas ordering steaks, lobsters. They ordered the whole table appetizers. I was trying to be modest. I didn't want to spend all their money, so I ordered a burger. They said, no, don't get a burger. The steaks here are to die for. So I'm like, fuck it. I got me a steak. As soon as I finished the steak, one of these niggas said, y'all ready to go? I'm like, yeah, where the fuck is the waiter with the check? These niggas started laughing, talking about what you mean check? We're finna run. And I'm like, are y'all for real? I've never done that before. They just ignored my question. They ran out to Applebee's. So now I'm sitting in a booth by myself with hella plates. When the waiter finally gets back, she said, where did everybody go? I said, I don't know. They just ran off. So she came back with her manager. This nigga made me call my dad and tell him what happened. So my dad pulls up to the Applebee's. They make him pay the entire bill. And I'm not going to speak about what happened after that, because what happened to me was damn near child abuse.
Ever since I started posting on this page in May, I've met nothing but cool ass followers. I met a dude in real life who told me he was at the darkest point in his life when he saw my page, and I was the only person who consistently made him laugh. I gave the motherfucker a hug. That shit meant something to me. But this weekend, I met my first hater and this shit was crazy. but I'm gonna just need y'all to peep game and lock in. On Saturday, I was at my school's basketball game and I saw my old resident. For those of y'all who don't know, I used to be a CA. I was the Tony Soprano on my floor. I was like LeBron James. I ran that bitch with maximum efficiency. So I see my resident, I'm just talking to her. I'm like, damn, how have you been? Oh, you got an apartment? That's good for you. She was one of my favorite residents. It was good to see her. But out of nowhere, cue the boyfriend. Bro pulled up behind his girl and started whispering in her ear. And that's his girl. I don't have any problems with it. But they were both looking at me while he's whispering. So I'm getting stared at like a goddamn zoo animal. And his girl, who again was my old resident, said she had to go and they both took off. It's like, damn, bro. What did you think a TikToker was going to do to your girl? What could I even possibly have said to her? Hey, send me a silhouette challenge video? Hey, let's go get some drinks and hit the renegade at my shit. What the fuck did I do? In this life, there is 3 lies everybody's going to hear. A woman's body count, a man's bank account, and a Nick Fiend saying they can quit vaping whenever they want. But I'm going to need y'all to peep game and lock in. At the start of this month of November, me and all my homies chose to give one thing up this month. Pause low key, that sounded crazy. But you already know I chose Chipotle. And I made it to November 2nd before I had to go get my steak bowl. But one of my homies decided he was going to give up vaping. I've known this dude since 7th grade. He started vaping in 8th. We are now seniors in college. He is now one with the vape. So I told him, bro, don't choose vaping. You're never going to stop. And he told me he's not even addicted. He just does it for fun and he can stop whenever he wants. You know, typical fiend shit. But yesterday come around and me and all my homies, we're at the library studying. And my homie keeps going to the bathroom every 3 fucking minutes. And at first, it's like maybe his stomach's hurting, maybe he ate something he shouldn't have ate. But after the 4th, 5th time, we're not fucking stupid. Either there's a glory hole in that bathroom, or you picked up that Nick stick. So me and all my homies are studying when my homie pull out the bathroom for like the 100th time. And we just look at him and we're like, we know you're vaping. And this nigga smart as fuck. He's like, how am I vaping if I don't got pockets? I looked at his pants. He ain't have no pockets. So my other homie started apologizing for checking him like that. But then I started to think, nah, my girl used to vape and she used to tuck that bitch into her leggings. So I told him to lift his shirt. Motherfucker started laughing and said, you caught me. When Kendrick Lamar said they not like us, he wasn't just talking about Drake's freaky ass. He wasn't just talking about Millie Bobby Brown's biggest supporter. He was talking about the black experience. Because if you're a black person in America, you always gotta remember they not like us. But just peep game and lock in real quick. A couple years ago, me and my black ass homie were working the same job. And I'm not gonna say the job, but it was either Walmart, Walgreens, or Target. And we would do ghetto shit all the time. Whenever our manager went on his hour lunch, me and my homie would go straight to the break room and wait 45 to 50 minutes. And right before that nigga came back, we would go back to acting like we were doing our job. And after our manager saw us, we'd be like, you know what? We're gonna go on our hour lunch too. But days my manager wasn't at work, we wouldn't do shit. Some days we would go to the mall. The day Infinity War came out, I was at work. Me and my homie watched Infinity War clocked in. We watched the entire movie down to the post-credit scenes. My job never fucking knew. But one day we're at work and I see there's a new white kid. And right away I told my homie, we've got to stop doing this ghetto shit. We've actually got to start doing our job. We actually got to do our job now. I'm not trying to get fired. Not even the next shift. The same day I go into the break room and I hear my homie telling the white kid how we don't do shit, how the job's so easy, how we turn our 15-minute breaks to 45-minute breaks. And I'm like, damn nigga, why are you telling our business? And that same week, that nigga got hired. Me and my homie pulled up to our 2 to 10 p.m. shift. Right away, I hear on the loudspeaker, can my homie go down to the back office? I don't see that nigga for a good 30 minutes. Tell me why I see this nigga leaving the store with his head down. I'm like, wow, we're fucking cooked. A couple minutes later, I hear on the loudspeaker, can I go down to the back office? And I'm like, damn, that might be game. I get to the back office, it's the HR lady saying she needs to speak with me. Mind you, I haven't spoken to this bitch since I got hired, since my job interview. We start talking, she's asking me if I know what time theft is, if I know how much the company loses to time theft. And that day, I got fucking fired, just because my homie couldn't keep his mouth shut. Have y'all noticed the way older people talk about the way things used to be? They be talking that shit like it was a good thing. They be talking about, oh, before the civil rights movement, we used to be a country. Nigga, what kind of country is that? Like, I got this one uncle, he's damn near racist, homophobic, and ableist. I didn't even know you could really be ableist. I thought that was just a TikTok word. The other day, this nigga talking about only in America do we see these rates of autism. I'm like, damn, what you mean, Unc? There's no people with autism in Kenya? This nigga said, no, we used to beat that stuff out of them. I'm like, damn, Unc, are you reminiscing about that shit?
That's not a good thing. Are we flexing beating kids with autism now? And my uncle, he's always talking about the fucking past. The other day he went on his yearly rant about gay people. He talking about when I was growing up, there was no such thing as gay. Yes, there was, nigga. They were down low because of niggas like you. My uncle is even talking about how he thinks his son's gay. Mind you, the only reason he says that shit is because he caught my cousin wearing a face mask. The nigga got a skincare routine. Y'all old niggas really need to shut the fuck up.
When I was growing up, I used to have like a cartoonish amount of trust for black people. Like if I was walking down the street and another black person nodded to me, I would have damn near gave them a Glock with a switch. They were damn near twin. But in 6th grade, when I found out all skin folk ain't kinfolk, that shit damn near broke my heart. But I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. First, I gotta give y'all a little context. When I was in 5th grade, I had high-ass math scores, so they put me in the highest math class when I was in middle school. So I was a 6th grader in this high-ass math class, and there was only one other black person in the class. And in that math class, my teacher fucking hated me because all I would do was play games on my iPad. But my teacher would low-key say fucked up shit like, your older brother would never do this, I can't believe you and him were raised under the same roof. Like, she was saying the type of shit that rappers be rapping about. But one day we were in class, and some girls who had her a couple years ago came through, and it was her birthday or some shit. And her and my math teacher ended up having a big-ass hug, and my teacher put the cupcake on her desk. And in between class, we had lunch. So I was the last person to leave the class, grabbed the cupcake off her desk, and killed that shit and threw the wrapper away. But low-key on some serial killer shit, I kept the fucking ring. And during lunch, I showed the other black kid that was in my math class, and he was gassing me up. He said I was so cool. He said I was so badass. He had me feeling like I was the man. But when we got back to class, my teacher was mad as fuck. And she even said she knew someone in the class took it, but none of us said shit. But then my black friend in the class said, check in Brian's pocket. Bro didn't just throw me under the bus, his ass hogtied me. I'm finna tell y'all about when my black ass got arrested, kept the secret from my parents, then got handcuffed in front of them 2 months later. But this story's gonna be a little longer, so peep game and lock the fuck in. Back when I was in high school, I was somewhat of a fucking thief. If you invited me to a kickback, if you invited me to a house party, I was in the master bedroom. I was taking all your parents' shit. But eventually, that shit lost its thrill, so I started stealing from stores. And as embarrassing as it is to say, I was like Steph Curry of stealing. A lot of my methods would have looked like magic to y'all niggas. And I'm not finna say the retailer, but one time I was stealing hella shit. And I was at self-checkout, so I went to go put my card in, refused to read. Then a manager came through and she's like, I can help you over here. Then we started walking out the store. She brought me to a little secret room. When we both got in that bitch, it was 3 cops. She shut the door behind her. They read me my rights, then handcuffed my black ass. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I went to jail that day. And eventually they let me talk to somebody, and he said if I did 30 days of community service or paid $150, this shit would be cleared from my record. I told him I'd do the 30 days community service and didn't do none of that shit. So like 2, maybe 3 months later, I was just chilling downstairs with my girlfriend. We get a knock on the door. My little sister opens it. It's the police. So she comes downstairs and said, Brian, the police are looking for you. So I go upstairs. They arrest me on sight. And mind you, my parents are upstairs watching TV, but obviously they knew something was wrong. So they came downstairs and my mom saw me handcuffed. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I've never been more ashamed in my life. And then my mom low-key started making a scene and they told her to calm down, there was a warrant for my arrest. And I was confused as shit, so I said, for what? And he said, because I didn't pay my fines. So I told him I paid my fines 2 weeks ago, knowing damn well I didn't. They let me go and they said they would check and be back first thing in the morning. And after coming clean to my parents, I made that $150 payment and never saw the police again. One thing that I hear people say every single Thanksgiving is my dad makes the best turkey or my mom makes the best mac and cheese. Whole time, they be cooking up nothing but bullshit. I'm talking about Ice JJ Fish in the studio type of bullshit. So here are 3 signs that your Thanksgiving chef low-key can't cook for shit. But you already know, I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. The first and most obvious sign is if you go look in the trash can and all the plates are upside down. Throwing away a plate upside down is the nicest way of saying don't ever cook this shit again. Motherfuckers like to throw away a plate upside down so you can't see how much food they threw away. I'm a pro at it, but the second sign that the Thanksgiving dinner low-key sucked is if nobody is taking leftovers. Especially if there's a lot of black people at that dinner and nobody's taking leftovers, there's a reason for it. On no hating shit, last year my homie's mom made some mac and cheese with raisins in it, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I took a shit to make sure I was bringing none of that food home with me. That's how bad the mac and cheese was. And the third and final sign that the Thanksgiving dinner was trash is if everything's gone but the food. If you notice the dessert, the pop, the juice, everything is gone but the food, there's likely a reason for it. My favorite part about being black is no two black people are the exact same. And unless you're a police officer, that shit is pretty fucking obvious. And when I was growing up, I used to have great relationship with all the black kids in my grade. But now looking back at some of these relationships, I think there may have been like undiagnosed autism or some sort of special needs. And I know that sounds crazy, so just peep game and lock in. Back when me and my homies were in 6th grade, we had this game called Hands. And if you said something fucking stupid, we'd be like, nah, show me your hands, and we would slap the shit out your hand. And on the first day of 7th grade, me and the homies are in math class and there's a new kid. And we were playing some Jeopardy game and the teacher asked the new kid, what do you want? So he said geometry for 100. She asked him how many sides in a triangle. This motherfucker said 4. Me and all my friends were dying, even the new kid was laughing. But after class we said, nah bro, that's hands. Slapped his hand and he became one of the dogs. But as time went on, he was becoming the Michael Jordan of this hands game. It was damn near twice a day we would have to slap his hands for saying some dumb shit. Like one time we were in geography and the teacher asked us, what is the capital of Germany? My homie raised his hand and said Auschwitz. And now looking back at it, I don't think he's all there, but he's still the homie. Hey y'all, what that bitch say right there? Spider-Man fucking 2. Y'all know I couldn't get hold by no niggas who call themselves Geek Squad. And all it took was 4 Best Buys, half a tank of gas, and a lot of determination. But y'all already know I'ma need y'all to peep game and lock in. On Friday night, I literally couldn't sleep. I was so fucking conflicted because half of me was like, bro, you got a PS5 for $500. All you gotta do is get a power cord in a couple games. But then the other half of me was like, nah, you can't go out like no bitch. You bought a $500 console that didn't come with a fucking game. Get your get back, nigga. So this morning I woke up at 10 a.m., hit my first Best Buy. They said no refund. I went to my second one. They said no refund. I went to my third one. They said no refund. If y'all couldn't tell, I was feeling like a frat boy. I wasn't taking no for an answer. So I hit the fourth one, and I'm not going to say the location, because what they did could low-key get them in trouble. But I pulled up, and I told them I bought a PS5, and it didn't have half the shit in it. And the manager was cool as hell. He said I would be pissed if that happened to me. So he said he was going to go look in the back to see if the other open boxes had a power cord and a game in them. They did. He got me fucking right. I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the room. I don't think I'm intellectually above nobody. But it's very easy to tell who grew up reading books and who didn't. Like I'm talking about all it takes is one conversation with these people to know they got the vocab of a leapfrog. And I already know that sounds crazy, so just peep game and lock in. I got this one homie who I don't think has ever picked up a book. I mean, it's to the point if I gave him a Percy Jackson book and he read one page, shit would probably start flying around in the room. Like, I mean, it's so fucking bad. One time I was playing 2K with a nigga, and he said, I thunked you made that. He didn't say, I thought you made it. He said, I thunked. I have never heard no shit like that in my life. He talked like his birthday ends in BC. But today, me and all my homies were chilling, and I got this TikTok that said, would you rather have 100K right now or flip a coin for the chance at 10 million? And before anybody even answered, his ass said, I'm taking the 100K. So we looked at him like, what? You didn't even have to think about it? Why the 100K? And he said, so I could fucking retire. Retiring what fucking economy? Have you heard of the word inflation? Because unless he's living across the street from the cartel, what kind of inflation is he adjusting for? Since January is right around the corner and a lot of y'all are going to have the New Year's resolution to lose weight, here are the 2 quickest ways to lose weight, but I don't fucking recommend them. But you already know, I'm going to need y'all to peep game and lock in. The first and quickest way to lose a lot of weight is go through your significant other's phone. And no, don't go through Snapchat, don't go through iMessage, don't go through the Instagram DMs. Go to the juicy shit. Go through the Notes app. A couple months ago, my homie went through his girl's Notes app. The nigga is dunking now. Bro told me he found a note dating back to 2016, and all he saw was 8 lines and random initials. Her Notes app was looking like an Apple autofill password. The nigga lost so much weight, we thought he was sick. But me personally, I would never do that because that's a total invasion of privacy. So if you're looking for a different way to lose weight, I got you. Just post yourself on IG Reels. All it takes is one IG Reels post, and there goes your will to live. I saw a woman post her gym journey on IG Reels, and the top comment was D1 plate cleaner. I promise y'all, one IG Reels post, and you will start eating bi-weekly. Back in 2020, I got into sneaker reselling and my homie was poor as shit, so he asked if I could put him on. And me being the homie I am, I told him I got you, just do everything I say. He didn't fucking listen and lost 300 bucks off one drop. And I already know that sound crazy, so just peep game and lock in. Literally 4 days into my freshman year of college, I ended up getting the Union 4s. As you can see right there, I got them for $272. And I sold them bitches for $1,271. Juice WRLD shit, nigga, 999. And my homies were literally in the room with me when I hit, and I was going crazy. Low-key pause, what the fuck. But as soon as I got the email that I got the shoes, I sold them immediately. And my homie's like, bro, how the fuck did you make that much money in 10 minutes? You gotta put me on. So I told him next month some Supreme shoes were dropping. And instead of waiting for the shoes to drop, this dumb-ass nigga went on Nike sneakers and bought 7 pairs of Kyrie lows. I ain't got no hate against Kyrie lows, but them shits are sitting at Dick's Sporting Goods. Why the fuck would they be reselling? But instead of asking me, bro, should I buy these shoes? He just bought them. And instead of listening to me and returning them to Nike, he sold them each for a $40 loss on StockX. And to this day, he blames me for losing the money. Top 2 most violent black people of all time. Like, if I were to catch one of these motherfuckers at night, I would finally understand how women feel. But I already know that sounds crazy, so just peep game and lock in. First up, you already know who it is. Draymond fucking Green, the NBA's very own boogeyman. And at this point, I think Draymond might be untouchable in the NBA. Because y'all already remember what he did to Jordan Poole. He gave the nigga the Doctor Strange punch. The out-of-body deluxe. Bro had Jordan Poole like this. And we can't even forget what he did to Rudy Gobert at the start of the season. He put bro in a headlight like an officer with his body cam off. He literally looks like he's telling bro to stop resisting. And number 2, you guys should have already been ready. It's DaBaby. Look at this guy right here. He's taking a video of DaBaby in a Louis Vuitton store and making fun of DaBaby. And DaBaby decided to knock him the fuck out and take a video of it. And the thing about DaBaby is his hands don't discriminate. This girl right here was taking a video with her flash on, and instead of asking her to turn off the flash, he just slapped the shit out of her. And most importantly, don't forget that DaBaby got bodies. One thing that most guys can agree on is in middle school, that is the most childish time in your life. Like, a lot of the shit I was doing in middle school would probably land me a misdemeanor today. But one time in middle school, my mom did something so unforgivable that I don't think I could ever heal from it. But you already know, I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. Back in middle school when I was like 12 or 13, there was this Vine when a nigga pointed at somebody's shoes and said, "What are those?" And y'all could already tell by now, I'm a childish nigga. So I used to go around pointing at people's shoes and saying, "What the fuck are you wearing? What are those?" And anytime I did it to a dude, no complaints. I did it to one girl, ended up getting in-school suspension. School had me in ISS for 3 fucking days. And as soon as my mom found out, she took me to Goodwill and donated my favorite pair of shoes. Then same trip brought me to Walmart and bought me these bogus ass and ones. I have never been the richest nigga in the room, but these were the exact shoes my mom bought me. And my mom really wanted me to know, never make fun of somebody for what they're wearing. So she made me wear them bitches every day to school. So as soon as I got out of in-school suspension and stepped out in them bitches, I was literally a shell of myself. It was humiliating. But guess what? I never made fun of nobody again. Nah, that's a lie. One allegation that I know I am never beating is the allegation of you sound like you're white. And it's like, what do y'all want me to do? Come on this app talking about, hey, on phone grade, one time me and my old block goons were putting switches on our shit and 12 came around the block. But I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and take a shot at Hennessy. Like, what? Not every black person sounds like they're in training day. But I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in real quick. I've already told y'all this before, but back in 4th and 5th grade, I was the only black boy in the grade. So when I was in 6th grade, my first year of middle school, I did not know how to talk to black dudes my own age. And I even went to my dad one time, I'm like, dude, I don't know how to make black friends. And he was looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just talk to black kids your age. So one day I pulled up to this table where all my black friends were sitting. And hey, shout out my nigga Chance, shout out my nigga Eli. I know y'all remember this shit. I pulled up and they were complaining saying how 6th grade sucks and it's gonna be the worst year of our lives. And I looked at them, I'm like, yo, why are y'all being such Debbie Downers? And they all looked at me like, what? Debbie Downers? Somebody get this white ass nigga out the table. And for the next 2-3 months, they did not shut up about me saying Debbie Downer. They were telling me I belonged at the Pokemon table. And the Pokemon table was this group of white kids who didn't even eat lunch. They just sat in a group and played Pokemon. I didn't fucking belong there. If you got parents that you don't really fuck with that much, I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in real quick, because I got good news for you. This generation of nurses are such fucking demons that all you gotta do to your parents is describe them what these nurses are doing, and that's gonna get them to treat you better because nobody's gonna want to be in a nursing home. Like my freshman year of college, I had a friend group that was like 20 deep because everybody fucking knows freshmen in college want to have all these fucking friends. And in my friend group, 3 girls wanted to be nurses, and these were the most ratchet women I've ever met in my life. And I don't use the term ratchet lightly. They were fucking ratchet. Like, I kid you not, every week, one of them would get in a fucking fight. And eventually I was just like, damn, why are these niggas always fighting? So I asked one of them, why are y'all always getting in these fucking fights? And she told me, I'm getting in these fights now because when I'm in the nurse in the future, I can't get in fights. They're going to take away my license. And when she told me that, I was like, oh my God, I can't never put my mom in a nursing home. Because honestly, I never really was. But my mom got a lot of attitude. She be sassy. All it's going to take is one snotty remark, and now my mom has a real gummy smile. They gonna knock her teeth out.
Have y'all ever met somebody who can't take criticism to save their life? Like, you could be trying to help them, give them life-changing advice. They're just gonna think you're fucking hating. Like yesterday, my homie showed me his resume, and I wouldn't hire that nigga to watch a stop sign. And I know that sounds crazy, so just peep game and lock in real quick. My homie dropped out of school in December, and I haven't seen him since until yesterday. And when I pulled up at his crib, I'm like, damn, bro, are you okay? He's like, nah, I've been applying to jobs for the last 2 months every single day. He told me the day after he places an application, he calls the store, and nobody's giving him a message back. I'm like, damn, in 2 months? Were you on To Catch a Predator, my nigga? Did you dap up Chris Hansen? Are you a registered SO? He's like, hell nah, I don't know if jobs aren't hiring or if it's my resume. So I'm like, bro, show me your fucking resume. He shows me his resume. There's only 2 things on that bitch. Walgreens Customer Service Associate 2018 to 2019 and graduated high school at 17. So I'm like, bro, I ain't know you graduated high school a year early. He gonna say I didn't. My birthday's in July. So I had to be honest with him. I told him my little sister has a better middle school resume than this shit. He gonna say I'm just trying to hate. I'm like, how, bro? Your resume shows you haven't worked in 5 years. This is real life, not Avengers Infinity War. What have you been doing these last 5 years? I think you can only tell so many fruity jokes before I start to think, maybe you just don't like girls as much as you think you do. And take that from me. I'm somebody who tells fruity jokes all the time. Back when I was in high school, I knew a dude who was built like Ice Spice before Ice Spice. I mean, he was built like a lowercase b. Hella butt. And I know that sounds crazy, so just peep game and lock in. This morning, I woke up at 7:30, opened Twitter, and saw Drake was the #1 thing on trending. I knew that could only mean one of 3 things. Either Drake was killed, Drake was arrested, or Drake dropped an album. It was neither of these 3 things. Drake was on the timeline doing some freaky shit I can't say on this app. So on my walk to class, I posted on my story, I ain't trying to listen to this freaky nigga today. And my homie gonna swipe up talking about fucking you know what on that guy. I don't think that's a joke. So guess what? I left his ass on open because what am I supposed to say to that? On my mama? I can't co-sign that joke. So when I pull up to class and I got the same class with that dude, the first thing he gonna say is I see why he called it her loss. Bro, that is 2 meat jokes before noon. At this point, I don't think they're jokes anymore. One of the hardest lines I've ever heard a woman say was, did you think it was gay or did it surprise you? Because I'm not gonna lie, a couple years ago, anytime I saw a man break the male boundaries, I assumed they were gay. But now I know they're just more confident in their sexuality than I am, but just peep game and lock in real quick. Back in 2020, me and my homies were at this function, and I'm not gonna lie, it was straight niggas there. I should have already known that when the flyer said to leave the drama at home. But they started playing Back in Blood, and this one nigga had a whole circle around him. He was turning that bitch up. So me and all my homies, we pull up to the circle, we're like, hey, this nigga jumps and hits the splits. All the girls are screaming and cheering. The niggas were like, whoa. What is this nigga doing, yo? So my homegirl sees us and she's like, what the fuck are y'all acting dumb for? So me and my homies were like, we're not acting dumb, but why did he have to do that fruity shit? So she said, did you think it was gay or did it surprise you? And at first I was getting ready to argue, but then I was like, damn, she low-key got me. Ever since then, anytime I see a man break the male boundaries, I don't assume it's gay unless it's Harry Styles wearing a dress. But Young Thug, he had that shit on though. Y'all ever hear a white person laugh a little too hard at a racist joke and it gets you thinking, there's gotta be more to the joke? Like maybe I'm just tripping, but peep game and lock in real quick. Last weekend, me and all my homies were in Vegas having a good time, and we were outside in our Airbnb backyard. My homie gonna randomly take a picture of all of us and say, why can I barely see Brian Black ass? I'm not gonna lie, I thought this shit was funny. All my homies were laughing, but my white homie, he was laughing a little harder, a little longer than everybody else. That nigga was laughing so hard that he was sighing after he laughed.
Yeah, the joke was funny, but was it that funny? And after a good 20 minutes after that joke, my homie gonna send the picture to the group chat and say why Brian Black ass looked like the Utopia cover. As soon as I went to the group chat and saw the picture, I knew I was cooked. I'm in that picture looking like I'm 3/5 black man, 2/5 black lab. Now all my homies is laughing their ass off, but now my white homies fucking laughing so hard, niggas' shoulders are shaking, niggas crying, like literal tears out his eyes to the point everybody else stopped laughing. We had asked that nigga, what's so fucking funny? Bro ass talking about, nah, y'all can't lie, you know that shit was funny. Yeah, we know it was funny, but was it that fucking funny?
Do y'all really think girl code exists? Because me, if I'm being honest, I don't think that should exist. Like, sure, girls will be nice to each other. They're comment on each other's Instagram. Girl, you're so stunning. Oh my God, stop. But what they say behind closed doors, the way they feel in their heart, is damn near cartoonishly evil. I know girls that are roommates that devote their life to ruining the other roommate's life. But girl code, right? Maybe I'm tripping though. Maybe I'm tripping.
I became the president of the United States today. The first thing that I'm banning is adult material. There will be no more link in bios. There will be no more The Hub if I'm in office. Because we are starting to see the effects of that shit in real time, but just peep game and lock in real quick. I happen to have a homie who is a serial meat beater. I have no other way of saying it. If every time he touched himself he lost 10 minutes of his life, he would have died 2 years ago. That nigga has a problem. I followed him on Twitter and unfollowed him the very next day. He was retweeting shit that I couldn't even comprehend the human body doing. And yesterday, technically this morning, at 2 in the morning, he gonna call me and the first thing he gonna say is, bro, I lost. I'm like, damn, bro, what the fuck happened? This nigga gonna say, hey, you know, old girl, she told me to come over. And I'm like, yeah, so what the fuck happened? He said when it was game time, the shit wouldn't fucking work. That nigga had the Gatorade symbol. So I was like, damn, bro, kinda weird to call me about this shit at 2 in the morning, but I'm sorry to hear that. This nigga gonna say, I don't even know what happened. She's confused, I'm confused. And then I'm like, nigga, why are you confused? I followed you on Twitter for a good 6 hours and you didn't tweet one video of a girl above the height of 3 feet. No wonder the shit couldn't work when you're around a regular sized woman. If you're a man watching this shit right now, start going on walks and leave your shit alone. I honestly don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're betting money on sports but can't handle losing the money, don't fucking sports bet. Like this year, me and my homie put $200 on the game, the nigga lost and he started crashing out. Bro left the Super Bowl party saying, I hope Taylor Swift's private jet pulls a Kobe. Nigga, chill, it's never that deep. But just peep game and lock in real quick. Last year for the Super Bowl, me and my homie bet 50. I said I had the Chiefs, he said he got the Eagles. Nigga lost, never paid me. So I said this year, let's bet 200 on it, but we gotta give one of our homies 200 cash. That way one of us walks home with 400. So I gave 200 to my homie, he gave 200 to the same homie. I said I got the Chiefs, he said he got the 49ers. During the first half while the 49ers were up, you would have thought that nigga was on the team. Bro's looking at me, pointing and laughing, all types of shit. When it got to halftime, you would have thought Usher brought that nigga out himself. Bro was dancing in the living room like a fucking lunatic. But as soon as the 49ers had that shitty ass third quarter, nigga got real silent. As soon as the game got into overtime, he started fucking tweaking. Bro was talking about, I hope Travis Kelce beats this bitch. Bro talking about Patrick Mahomes isn't even a black man. Like, bro, what are you even talking about? And as soon as the 49ers lost that game, the nigga left the crib. No, y'all have a good night. No dapping us up. Nigga just left. But hey, I got my 400 though. I'm the type of friend that if I buy you something, I'm not going to ask you to pay me back. Like, I might ask if you could suck it a little bit, but I'm never going to ask you for the money. Because I'm not that greedy. I don't got that much Mr. Krabs in me. But a couple weeks ago, I gave my homie $250 and he still hasn't paid me back. But just peep game and lock in real quick. A couple weeks ago, me and my homie went to this party and he was the one driving. So when we got there, he parked, we went inside. We left at like 2 in the morning. That nigga's car wasn't there. So immediately that nigga started tweaking. He talk about, bro, I only got $30. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing outside with only $30? But then we looked right in front of us and there was this sign that said we tow. And then that nigga really started spazzing out. So I'm like, bro, just chill. Let's call the number. But we called the number. They're talking about it's $249 to get his car back. That nigga talking about if I pay $30, do you think you could spot me the rest? I'm like, nigga, if you only got $30, I'll just pay it. You can pay me back later. Bro said I get paid Friday, I'll pay you right back. Friday came, that nigga didn't say shit. So I'm like, that's weird, but I didn't say shit. Another Friday went by. That nigga didn't say shit. So I'm starting to get a little mad. I low-key need my $250 back. But yesterday night, I'm on Instagram and he posted on his story, Tell me why this nigga's at the Milwaukee Bucks and Pacers game with his fucking girlfriend. I have never seen a nigga more worried about the wrong Bucks. Because what are you doing there? I could understand if Giannis was playing, but that nigga is wasting my hard-earned money to watch Chris Middleton? I called this nigga this morning talking about I need my money. This nigga talking about I only got 120 right now. Nigga, just give me my money. Out of all the annoying fans in the world, Dallas Cowboys fans, Taylor Swift fans, J. Cole fans, there is no fan more annoying than the sports fan. Like, you can make the smallest mistake in the sports world, now everybody wants your head on a stick. But I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. Back when I used to play basketball in high school, every year during winter break, all the basketball players had to do the shot clock for a boys basketball game. So I was doing the shot clock for an 8th grade basketball game, and that game was up. Motherfuckers was hitting fadeaway buzzers at halftime and shit. It was crazy. But as the game was coming to an end, there was 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and one team was down by 1. And for those of y'all that don't know basketball, you cannot start the shot clock until the basketball hits a player's hand. So the team that was down by 1 rolled the ball, and here's where I fucking tweaked. I started the shot clock. And once that bitch hit 6 seconds, once it hit 5 seconds, on some SpongeBob shit, every parent in the crowd was standing up screaming at me. And me being in a state of confusion because I'm getting yelled at, I forgot to stop the clock. So the shot clock went off and nobody even touched the ball. When I tell y'all I was getting cussed out so bad, the referees had to help me out the gym. If y'all saw how bad I was getting yelled at, y'all would have thought I flashed them or something.
As a black person, one of the worst things you could ever experience is finding out a fellow black person that you low-key fuck with is a coon. 2020 was my senior year of high school, and I had this dog that me and him went way back, all the way to 6th grade. And we was just talking about the George Floyd situation and just minority life in general. And he said, you know, it starts with our culture. I cut bro off and said, I didn't want to hear all that shit. And to this day, me and bro ain't cool, but it's tough. One of my favorite mans to have around me is the guy that's always ready to fight. If y'all didn't know, Halloween in college is like Christmas in elementary school. The hoes get in the spirit of giving. And I ain't talking presents if you know what I mean. And we had the genius idea of going to a white frat party. I'm talking the first song we heard when we walked in that bitch was Fireworks and Mo Bamba. That should paint a pretty good picture. But as soon as we pulled up in that bitch, we got some weird stares. And it wasn't because we were blacks, as they call us at that white frat party. It was because one of my mans decided to rush their freshman year, but just to get into free parties. So they pulled up to us and they're like, nah, y'all gotta go. Your man just graped somebody at a party 15 minutes ago. So we're like, what? We've been with dude all night. And I'm all for kicking people out of parties. But to say he S8'd somebody is crazy. So everybody but me was ready to fight, because I'm not a fighter. And I look to my mans, and he's smirking. Nah, he's not even smirking. He's smiling ear to ear. I'm talking pearly whites. He has a problem, but he makes me feel safe.
Like I said, I'm too scared to go to confession. So here are some more evil things I've done in my life. In middle school, there's this fat black kid who had the best hair in the school. Like, his shit was fire. But around the same time, there's this trend on Facebook where black dads, when they got their kid's report card, would shave the kid bald. That fat black kid just happened to be a victim of one of those videos. So when he came to school with his hood up, I already knew what time it was. I pulled his hood down quick and said, hot neck, bop. Had him mad as fuck. But he wasn't too mad. He didn't lose his composure. He was like, you fucking play too much, Brian. I was like, damn. I thought I got him. So during lunch, like I said, he's a fat motherfucker. You guys know fat people got that flapping neck behind them. So I took my school ID and swiped it and act like I was putting my pen. He got up and chased me. I was running like a deer, I'm not gonna lie. I was scared as shit. Lunch ladies caught us. We got in trouble. I got lunch detention for a week. But now that I think back at it, that wasn't nice. I've done worse things, but that wasn't nice. I don't care what nobody says. College professors are some of the most unapproachable people. Like, I'd probably say I've had 3 good professors. At that point, we're approaching police numbers. I'm finna start saying all professors are bad, but I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little blame to place on myself in this story, but I was only 20 fucking minutes late to class. Class is from 2 p.m. to 4:50 p.m. I just got out of fucking class. And in this class, the only things that are graded the entire semester, 16 weeks, are 7 papers and 2 writing runs. So I got to class at 2:20, sat down, and watch him yap for 3 hours straight. No change in presentations, no 5 minute break, no sip of water. Bro was just up there cooking bullshit. And about like 10 minutes before class ended, he asked everybody to take a notebook because we're gonna have our first writing run. And all he said was write your name and something useful you found from the lecture. So I was literally doing the assignment and he asked me to come up to his desk. So I pulled up and he told me I couldn't do the writing run. So I asked him why. And he said because you were late. Does that make any fucking sense to y'all? In my opinion, one of the hardest parts about being an adult is admitting when you're wrong. And I'm the type of motherfucker, I would rather burn bridges, cut my homies off, than admit my black ass is wrong. But today I fucked up so bad, I had to look my homie in the eyes and tell him, bro, my bad, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm gonna need y'all to peep game and lock in. I got this one homie named Antonio, but we all call his ass Tony. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, Tony low-key top 3 homies of all time. And me and him just got back from T-Mobile. I had to upgrade my phone, give y'all some better content. But after that, we went to Target to go get some screen protectors, and he saw a girl he thought was cute. So I told him to go say something to her. And he told me, nah, bro, I ain't feeling too confident right now. And I had to tell him, get out your head, bro. She's probably just as nervous as you are. And he kept arguing with me. He's like, nah, bro, you know I got a speech impediment. You know I got a stutter. So I was like, all right, bro, let's play what are the odds 1 through 10. And if we say the same number, you got to say something to her. And he firmly told me, and I mean firmly, that he wasn't finna play that silly ass game. So I peer pressured him a little bit. I said, just say you're a pussy then. And just like that, he ended up playing. We said 3, 2, 1, 7. And I low-key didn't think he'd say something to Shorty, but he actually did. And I didn't hear the first thing he said to her, but like 2-3 seconds into the conversation, he had the craziest stutter spasm I've ever heard. Like, I don't think there's anything funny about a stutter, but it sounded like he was being beheaded. And they both just ended up walking away from each other. And after that shit, we went a good 5-10 minutes without saying shit to each other. So I decided to be a man for once and apologize. And all he said was, you good, bro. But I could tell he was feeling like this. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't get addicted to you know what. Because I've seen it happen firsthand. Sometime in the summer, I was hanging out at my homie's crib, and he asked me if I wanted a pair of Jordan 4s for $30. I'm like, $30? They retail for $225. You're losing almost $200. But I'm like, yeah, I'll take them, but I'll give you 50. So I sent my homie 50. We kept hanging out. I go back home. I'm on Instagram. I see this motherfucker on some straight Snoop Dogg shit. Instagram story so full of smoke that I thought my screen was dirty. And I'm like, is that where my $50 went? I'm not a fucking enabler. I don't want my proceeds going towards that. But I was like, maybe I'm reaching though. Hell nah. A couple weeks later, maybe a month, he calls me and he's like, bro, you trying to go to the store? I'm like, yeah, why not? He picks me up. He's getting hella shit. Eggs, milk, cheese, chicken, frozen pizzas. I didn't need that much. I just get me a couple things. He drops me off. I go to his house later. The first thing he tells me is he threw away all the food. I'm like, what you mean you threw away all the food? He said he decided to do this, forgot the groceries in the car, and went inside and took a nap. Mind you, it's the middle of the summer. It's like 90 degrees out. And I'm just thinking, damn, bro, you might have a problem. If you got Asian, Mexican, Muslim, Black, or African parents, you probably have strict parents. I would know. Whenever I came home with my report card and there was something lower than a B, it was straight B to A, belt to ass. Next thing I know, my dad's asking me to go bring the belt. But as I got older, I stopped being scared of my parents. Obviously, I still got respect for my people, but I'm not scared of them. I got homies who are still scared of their parents. One time, my Mexican homie was telling me when he was growing up, he couldn't watch Johnny Test because the dog's name was Dookie. His parents were so strict, the word Dookie was a cuss word and he couldn't watch the show. And I'm like, damn, bro, what kind of strict ass parents you got? I've never heard no shit like that in my life. Yesterday, I was hanging out with the same homie. This nigga is crying because he got fired from his job. And he wasn't even crying because he got fired. He was crying because he had his mom on Life 360. He was telling me how she tracks him all the time and she's gonna find out he's not at work anymore and know he got fired. And I'm like, damn, bro, you 23. What do you mean you got your mom on Life 360? You don't even live with them anymore. I told him just delete the app or stop sharing locations with your mom. He's like, nah, bro, I can't make my mom mad. Nigga, you're 23. Why are you this scared of your mom? Have y'all ever met a black person who acts more ghetto than they are just to seem more black? That'd be one of the saddest things to see, but just peep game and lock in real quick. I met my mixed homie a couple years ago, and when I first met him, I thought he was a white boy. I didn't even know he was mixed. And me and him, we used to hang out all the time. And one time we're hanging out, he started laughing on Instagram. And then I hear him say, my nigga, look at this. And I'm like, my nigga, I don't give out N-word passes. When did we start saying that? So I'm looking at him weird, and he's like, bro, I'm black. He closed Instagram, opened his photos app, started showing me family photos, showed me his mom was white as fuck, showed me a picture of his dad. I'm even thinking no way that black ass nigga could be your dad. But my mix told me he cool as fuck. Anytime around me, he was comfortable being himself. I remember one time I went to his house, there was pictures of him in fencing gear. I've never met a black person who's been fencing. But one weekend, his cousins on his dad's side came over to our school. Them niggas were ghetto as fuck. But the craziest part was my homie was acting mad weird. He talking about I'm phoning them grave, shorty. I remember I said something he agreed with. He started talking about all my dead kids, bro. Like, who is this man? Why is he putting on this fake hood persona? Just to feel accepted around other brothers. Have y'all ever met somebody who makes shit deeper than it needs to be? Like, it seriously wasn't that deep, bro. A couple years ago, I was talking to my homegirl and she asked me, what do you like more, cats or dogs? And I simply said, I like dogs more, I'm just a dog guy. Tell me why. She said, do you know why guys like dogs more? It's because they aren't female coded. And I'm like, what you mean female coded? She said, with dogs, they'll just let you pet them. But when it comes to cats, they've got to open up to you and give you consent to pet them. And I'm like, you think I like dogs more because I don't need their consent? Do I look like the next fucking Jeffrey Epstein to you? It's not that fucking deep. I'm just a dog guy. And it's not just girls who do this shit. Guys do it too. A couple days ago, I was in the car with my homie. This nigga started playing Carnival full blast. He's jamming out talking about go, 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 go. And I really wasn't trying to hear all that shit. That song's a little too overplayed for me. So I pressed the skip button on his dashboard. This nigga started spazzing. He started talking about get the fuck off my shit. He talking about how that's mad disrespectful. I was like, yeah, my fault, bro. I really shouldn't have did that. He starts talking about fuck all that. It's the principle. How I think I can just walk all over him. And I'm like, damn, bro. It's really not that deep. I just wasn't trying to hear the song. Being broke and dumb is like the worst thing a person can be. Like, I love my homie, but he gotta be the brokest idiot I've ever met. For the last week, he keep talking about we gotta get Sparking Zero. And I told him, bro, I'll go past with you. You buy the game and game share it. I'll send you $35. So tell me why this dumbass nigga bought a $75 PlayStation card. He scratch off the code. There's no code there. Bro FaceTimes me and shows me the card. It looked like this nigga was trying to start a fire. That shit was scraped down to the bone. Like, that nigga probably scratched the table. And I'm like, bro, you're stupid as fuck. There's only 3 digits left. He talking about I'm gonna go call customer support. Hangs up on me. He called me back like 3 hours later talking about, bro, they said they can't give me a refund. He talking about I can't believe I lost $35. And I'm like, $35? Nigga, I'm not paying you shit. Why the fuck would you buy a PlayStation card? I thought that was perfectly reasonable. Tell me why I go on the PlayStation today. All my apps got locks on them. He stopped game sharing with me over his mistake. Bro texting me today that he's still trying to figure out the other digits. Just broke and dumb.